The M17 Weekly Net will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Calling together all amateur radio operators. This is the Weekly Net of the M17 Project. I'm Ed, November 2, X-Ray Delta Delta, and I will be your net control station today. This net meets weekly on Fridays at 1700 hours UTC by means of the M17 Charlie Reflector. The purpose of this net is to relay and share information in regards to the M17 project. M17 is a new digital radio protocol in development as an alternative to those currently available with freedom in mind. Freedom in the code, protocol, voice codecs, and hardware. The goal is to provide a better option for digital radios in the future. We encourage all amateur radio operators to check into this net. We will take check-ins followed by an informal roundtable to discuss all things M17 related. I will now stand by for check-ins. When checking in, please push your PTT device and then wait approximately 2 seconds before proceeding with giving me your name. Using proper ITU phonetics, your name and call sign using proper ITU phonetics, and your location, and if you have any information for the net. Sorry about that, guys. I had the other radio on, and it confused me for a second. So once again, I'm standing by for check-ins. Please give me your call sign using proper ITU phonetics, followed by your name and location, and if you have any information for the net.
Sierra Papa 5, Whiskey Papa. Hi, it's Wojciech again, coming in using Droid Star from Warsaw. I might have some traffic for today. Back to net.
This is Kilo Charlie 1, Alpha Whiskey Victor, KC1AWV. Steve in Boston, coming through Echolink, and I have no traffic for the net.
This is G4KLX, Jonathan, just south of London, place called Crawley, coming in using M17 client and the MMDVM using M17 over RF. I've got a little bit of traffic.
Kilo 5 Tango Uniform X-Ray K5TUX Russ, Mount Vernon, Missouri, coming in via Allstar Link, and no traffic today for the net.
Golf Whiskey 8 Sierra Zulu Lima. Dave in Newport, South Wales, coming in via Echolink today. No traffic for the net, but we'll be listening with interest.
This is Alpha 4 Hotel Sierra, Maitland in Alexandria, Virginia, coming in via Droid Star. No traffic this week. This is Mike 0 India Echo India, Pedro, from Ely in Cambridgeshire, UK, using M17 client with MMDVM using RF, and today trying testing, better said, a proper microphone using a Neumann TLM 103 and an RF voice channel. No traffic.
Okay, guys, let's hold it up right there. Net control wishes to recognize Sierra 5, Whiskey Papa, Wojciech in Poland, with some traffic. Steve, KC1AWV. Jonathan coming in via RF, G4KLX from the UK. Russ, K5TUX, thanks for joining us again. Dave from South Wales, Golf Whiskey 8, Sierra Zulu Lima, Maitland in Virginia, AA4HS. Pedro, also on RF, M0 India Echo India. And there was a station up on my dashboard, a VK4TUX station. Looks like you were keying it up, but you weren't coming over. Are you still there, VK4TUX? Okay, nothing heard. Jonathan, I don't know if I acknowledged or not, but yes, you do have traffic. I wrote it down, and I just don't remember if I acknowledged you. Before we go to the top of the list with those with traffic, do we have anybody else wishing to check in to the M17 Weekly Net with or without traffic? Please call Net Control now.
November 6 Bravo Golf, no traffic.
Whiskey 6 Delta Sierra, David, QTH Irvine, California, USA, no traffic for the net, and I'm coming to you via YSF Reflector.
Okay, guys, very good. Net Control wishes to recognize N6PG buy-in from Arizona. And David via YSF W6 is David Sierra. W6 is Delta Sierra. Thank you for checking in, David. Anybody else wishing to check in before we go over to those with traffic? Okay, let's take it up to the top of the list. Sierra 5. Sierra Papa 5. Whiskey Papa. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I don't think I've had enough coffee. Sierra Papa 5, Whiskey Papa. Wojciech, go ahead with your traffic.
Hi again, guys. This is Wojciech SP Sierra Papa 5 Whiskey Papa. Sorry, I've missed the latest net. I was on my way back home from Ukraine on the bus. It was pretty crowded, so I couldn't join the net. So I'm trying to rectify some problems with this specification today, and also I'm trying to implement to make another implementation in pure C using the specification only, and there are some errors to rectify. And I've opened an issue on GitHub with about 3 errors already, and I'm only trying to encode the links, the LSF, the link setup frame. So there are some errors in the specification, and I think that's about it. So back to the net.
Okay, Wojciech, thank you very much for your updates. Does anybody have any questions or comments in regards to the traffic from Wojciech this week? Please call Net Control. This is November 2, X-Ray Delta Delta. Please come now. Okay, hearing nothing, let's move down the list to Jonathan. G4 KLX. Please come now with your traffic.
Yeah, Roger, from G4 KLX, as I said earlier, using the M17. Little bit different here. I'm like Pedro, I'm running the EOF modification so that the end of transmission is transmitted differently than by default. And it seems to be working very well indeed. It's much more in line with NXDN and DMR and System Fusion and P20. That P25 is a bit different. Essentially, it's got a different way of indicating the end of transmission. It's a lot more robust than the one in the specification, and it's paying dividends. Other than that, I've done various tweaks to the software since last weekend, or last Friday, to make it a little bit better and more reliable, which is good. And hopefully this coming week I'm going to start adding richness to it, in the sense that adding text messages, which we've already got to some extent. Both me and Pedro's names appear in our LSF. I'll be adding GPS date to an extended attributes. I'll document them when they're working, but they'll make it a very nice environment to use when it's done. Okay, back to the net from G4KLX.
Okay, Jonathan, thank you again for the traffic and the work you've been putting in on the M17 client. And I know you've got Pedro and Tony down in Australia who've been helping you out and testing it and breaking it so you can fix it again and make it all better. So we appreciate that. Check out Jonathan's GitHub. You can search G4 KLX, and you can find his latest versions of the M17 client. So this is N2XDD. I'm Net Control Station for this week's session of the M17 Net. Does anybody else have any questions or comments for Jonathan? Please call now.
It's my Zero India Echo India. Just a comment. As I've been using the RF mode of transmission to rigs, to MMDVMs, and transmitting one to the other once and again, doing all kinds of tests. I've seen, I have to say, the reality, the practicalities in live use of the system. I found somehow the same. Even I'm having a really low error rate, really low, but at some point it gets a burst, and the reception ends, and the gateway and the system tries to send the confirmation at the end, and it disrupts the stream. So you have to wait a bit to get the stream again back to be received. I'm now testing, as Jonathan said, the EOF branch, and what I've seen so far, which is basically today, it's true. It's now continuous. You get some garbling at some point, when before I was getting an actual cut of the transmission. So now I think it's working much better, and probably my transmission is going to be as well more fluent with less cuts, basically. And I'm using the microphone. I'm now trying to shout. I'm using a preamp with a compressor. I don't know. I observed with Jonathan's audio. It's like codec 2 gets garbled when you get some frequencies high and low frequencies gets too high. Any comments about my audio today would be welcome. Back to Net Control Ed and to XDD.
Okay, Ronald, thank you for checking in with us today. That's Papa Delta 1, Alpha Charlie Foxtrot. That's Ron in the Netherlands. I don't think you've checked in with us before, but I want to thank you and welcome you. And if you have, I'm sorry for the re-welcoming, but thanks for popping in here. And your audio is sounding pretty good over here on my side. Does anybody have any questions or comments in regards to the traffic from Ronald in the Netherlands? Please call him now. Okay, hearing nothing. Moving on. Do we have any other stations wishing to check in? Please call Net Control now. N2XDD, Net Control Station. Anybody else wishing to check in with or without traffic? Please come now.
Sorry, Mike Zero in the Echo India. I don't know. I'm not sure if my last transmission went through the system. I was explaining I was using the branch, the EOF branch. Did my comment before went through the network? N2XDD, Mike Zero in the Echo India.
I'm sorry. I was probably looking at my dashboard. Maybe I did not have. I'm sorry about that. That was you checking in, Pedro, and not Ron from the Netherlands? Okay, guys. I apologize about that. Pedro, I was looking at the dashboard, and I acknowledge your transmission as coming from somewhere else. So I apologize, Pedro. Your transmission did come over, and that was my mistake for looking at the dashboard instead of paying attention to who was speaking. So, Pedro, yes, your transmission came over. Your audio sounds great. I apologize about that. Let me pass it back over to you, Pedro.
No worries, Mike Zero India, Echo India transmitting. I'm going to, well, I'm now talking quite loud. Any comment about if it's okay, if it's garbling, how it's codec 2 behaving with this volume would be appreciated. I could change later the EQ to see what do you think. But anyway, as I have no traffic, I should leave the net running as it should. Back to control.
Again, Pedro, my apologies. That was M0IEI. Pedro from the UK. Very strong, clean, crisp audio coming in via M17 client RF link. So Pedro, thank you very much. We appreciate the work you've been doing, testing out Jonathan's work and helping him and lending comments and breaking the system to let Jonathan fix it again. So we appreciate that work. Jonathan, do you have anything in regards to Pedro and his transmission?
No, it sounds pretty good to me. The only thing I would say is possibly it's a little bit basic, do with a bit more treble maybe. I've got headphones on, I've got a headset, USB headset plugged into the Pi here. Yeah, maybe a little bit less bass and more treble, but apart from that, it was good, easy audio to listen to, no problems.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for that. Pedro, again, thank you for the time you spent experimenting. So, anybody else with any questions or comments? Please call Net Control now.
Whiskey 6 Delta Sierra with a quick question. And maybe it's an open RTX question more than it is an M17 question, but I was reading the Reflector and saw that there was some possible Yaesu support. Wanted to find out more about Yaesu hardware. W6DS, back to net control.
W6DS. Yes, it's more of a question for the Open RTX guys. I know they've been exploring some probabilities of getting Open RTX to work on Yaesu hardware. So that's probably a question best answered by them, and I haven't seen or heard any of them checking in this week. So the best bet to reach out and get a hold of those guys are on their Discord platform, although they are usually on our Discord as well. So I hope that helps you out. Back over to you, David, if you have anything else.
No, that's it. I'm just looking to find some hardware so that I can play around with M17 as well. Maybe participate later. Anyhow, thank you very much, and back to you, Net Control, W6DS.
Okay, anybody else wishing to check in before it becomes my favorite part of the net, and that's where I throw it over to Steve. So anybody else wishing to check into this week's net, please call now.
TGIF 记录剧演说能大麦。
Okay, I think we had a double there. KC1AWV. Steve, let me turn it over to you in case you have any words of wisdom about what's going on in the world of M17. Steve?
Oh boy. Well, let's see. What do I have going on right now? Well, we have some more MMDVM hotspot boards being delivered. We're going to be taking a look at cracking out the firmware for those to bring more support for RF into M17, or at least bring M17 support into more devices. It's right now we have the M17 client, which is a great piece of software, but it requires a modem, an MMDVM modem plugged into a radio, and not a whole lot of people have that, so at least not around here from what I've seen. So, having hotspot support coming up next would probably be the kind of logical progression of everything. So, I'm trying to get the hotspot firmware working. And hopefully, when that happens, it'll bring more people into the whole idea of M17. And the other thing that I'm working on is redesigning the website. The main sections of the website are mostly complete. If anybody wants to take a look at that, I can post a link in the Discord for people to see what the site redesign will look like. I hope that it will make things a lot easier for people to find information and have an actual path of how to get started working on M17 or testing it out. So Yeah, if anybody's interested, I'll post a link there in the Discord for it. And can't think of anything else. I'm glad that we have a couple of people checking in from Fusion. Hold on just a second. I'm going to pause so I don't time out. So yeah, we do have a couple people checking in through the Fusion Reflector, which is really awesome. I mean, granted, we're using linking software in order to actually create all these links into M17, but it kind of shows that M17 can be interoperable with other modes. It's just that the voice transcoding needs to be taken care of. We need to find a better way of doing this. We don't want to use anything that might be a gray area as far as what voice codecs are being used and the legality of it. But for now, it seems to be working. So we'll just leave that as it is. And that's pretty much it from me. I don't think I have anything further, so I'll go ahead and pass it back to Net Control. This is KC1AWV.
Hi, Steve. Thank you very much. We appreciate all the hard work that gets done in the background that you don't necessarily get the credit for, but you are definitely appreciated for it. So this is a 2XTD Net Control Station. Do we have anybody with any questions, comments, or late check-ins for this week's net? Please call now.
Anybody else? Thank you.
I'm sorry, station. Can you please repeat your transmission?
TGIF question about it. I'm sure you can help me. Thank you.
Apologize. I did not get that call sign. I think you said KD4YN, but there was some background noise on your side there. Does anybody have a fill for me? Did anybody get that call sign?
Let me try it again. KJ4YN, Kilo Juliet 4, Yankee Delta Mike. Kilo Juliet 4, Yankee Delta Mike. Question about answer. Thank you.
Alrighty, much better. Thank you there. That's Kilo Juliet 4, Yankee Delta Mike, KJ4YDM. Did you have any traffic for the net? I want to welcome you here. I think this is your first time checking in with us.
Not only the first time, I'm very, very, very new to the hobby. I just get my official general license, and to tell you the truth, I don't know my way around. I don't know where to start, where to go, what to do. I don't even have a region. That's why I'm using actually. I want to try hamster, but I'm using Echolink actually. But I want to purchase. I just purchased a subscription on a hamster, but I don't really know how to use it. I don't know if anybody on the net can help me about it. I would appreciate that a lot. Thank you so very much. KJ4YDM over.
Well, first of all, I want to welcome you to the hobby. It's a great hobby, a lot of great people here, And if there's anything we can do to help you out with the hobby and to get involved in M17, which is one of our new digital modes in the hobby, the best bet for you is to visit our website, M17Project.org, M17Project.org. And from there, you'll find links to get in touch with us, including a Discord invite. Most of our communications in regards to the hobby is on Discord. So you can come on over, jump into the chat with us, and somebody will give you a hand and help you out along the way and get you started. So once again, welcome. Does anybody have any questions or comments to add to KJ4 YDM's transmission? Okay, well, like I said, welcome. Please check us out, M17Project.org. Join us on Discord, and let us give you a hand. We'll show you the way. Anybody else wishing to check in this week, please call Net Control. This is November 2, X-Ray Delta Delta.
November 2, X-Ray Delta Delta for incoming news, KJ4 Stadium. I get a hold on 17 Project Net. I'm going to read and visit it and see what I can do. By the way, you guys have a schedule right now. It's time to do for the next I mean, to keep on. I'm done already. Thank you so very much. KJ4 IDM over.
Okay, thank you. It's just a little bit difficult picking up all of your transmission, and that's only because you have a lot of background noise going on there, so just be cognizant of that. We'd appreciate that. All right, anybody else wishing to check in, or anybody else with any traffic before we close this up for the week, please call Net Control, November 2 X-Ray Delta Delta. Okay, guys, I want to apologize for the technical difficulties on my part there. I'm a little slow today. I don't think I was caffeinated enough, but thank you for bearing with me, everyone. I appreciate it. And I want to thank all those stations that checked in today for participating and supporting this net. Your help in maintaining it is appreciated by one and all. This is Ed, November 2, X-Ray Delta Delta, and the net is now secure at 1734 hours UTC. 7-3.